Hi, boys and girls. Yesterday, we were talking about some questions we can ask that are within the text. That means the answers to those questions can be found inside the book. Today, we're going to be talking about questions that the answer is not in the book. In fact, I drew a little guy up here reading a book and a thought bubble coming out of his head, because the answers to these questions come when you take the information in the book and you put it in your head and you make a decision about it. So it's the book plus you has to answer these questions, okay? It has to take two things. It doesn't come right out and tell you, all right? So I'm going to show you how to answer some of these questions with a book we already know. And then I'm going to read you a new book and give you some of these questions to answer on Seesaw, just like how we did it yesterday, but with different books, okay? And with different types of questions. These are beyond the text, right? So I'm going to be using the book Otis that we know, that I've read before, okay, to talk through this, okay? So let's talk about this. Why did the character... Let's talk about the character of Otis. Why did Otis get sad? Well, if we think back in the story, why did Otis get sad? Remember, he used to play free with the little calf, right? But then one day this big tractor came and it took his spot, and Otis got put out in the back of the barn. Why did the character get sad? Because he got put into the back of the barn. Now, even though I did look back through the book, did the book tell me Otis got sad because he got put in the back of the barn? Kind of. It showed me clues. I could tell because his eyes are droopy, right? And he didn't want to play anymore. Let's see, what does it actually say? Otis could not even see his farm as the weeds began to cover his tires. His friend often sat with him, but she could not get him to play like the old days. It doesn't say he's sad, but it shows us that he doesn't want to play anymore. It shows us his mopey eyes. It shows us, we can tell he's sad because we're thinking, okay? Let's look here. How would you describe the character? Well, they're asking me how I would describe the character, right? But they don't just want me to say, oh, well, he's a tractor, and he's red, and he's white, and he's got lights, and he's got tires. No. They want us to describe how he is on the inside, right? And do they come right out and tell me in the book? Do they say, Otis is a friendly, lovable old tractor? No, they don't really say that. But we can tell by his actions, and what we know about those actions, we can tell what he's like, okay? He likes the animals, so he's kind, right? We can tell that means kind. He helps the little calf fall asleep. That's also kind and loving, right? He plays. We can see him playing with the little calf. So he's playful, right? But he's sensitive, right? Because he gets sad easily. He gets his feelings hurt, okay? He's sensitive. However, when the little calf gets in trouble, who comes? So he's also loyal, brave, right? Helpful, because he helps save the little calf, okay? It doesn't come right out and tell us this, but we can look at the things that Otis did to answer this question. Okay, look at this one. How did the character's feelings change and why? Well, we can go back and look again. Otis was happy, right? And playful. How did they change? Well, because the big yellow tractor came, he got sad because he got kicked out of his spot. So the book doesn't come right out and tell us, but it shows us some pretty good clues if we open our eyes and look for them, right? Okay, so I answered 3 of these questions. I'm going to stop right there. Now I'm going to read you a brand new story, Squirrel's Party. And this book is from Bear's Den series. So some of these books are like the books I read with you in your reading Zooms. And so we are going to answer some questions from this book, okay? So here we go. Squirrel's party. Squirrel had a party for her friends. She looked down at Rabbit. "Come up to my party," she said. Look closely at Rabbit. Rabbit climbed a little and he stopped. "What's wrong?" Squirrel asked. Look closely. "I can't come to the party," Rabbit said. "I don't have a hat." "Oh, I have a hat for you," Squirrel said. "Come up." Rabbit climbed a little higher and he stopped. Squirrel asked, "What's wrong now?" Look closely. "I can't come to the party," Rabbit said. "I don't have a balloon." "Well, I have a balloon for you," said Squirrel. "Come up, Rabbit." Look again. Rabbit climbed a little higher and he stopped again. "I can't come to the party," Rabbit said. "I'm scared." "Come up just a little higher, Rabbit," said Squirrel. "You're at the party." Rabbit looked down to Bear. "Come up to Squirrel's party," Rabbit said. "You will have fun." Okay, so I can already tell from that book. I'm going to ask you a question. Why did Rabbit not want to come to the party? Why did he keep saying he didn't have things? Okay, I'm going to ask you that question. How did Rabbit's feelings change? And why? And then I'm going to ask you one that's not on here. What do you think Bear is going to do when climbing to the party? Okay, so let me go back through. I'm going to say, why did Rabbit say he couldn't come to the party? How did Rabbit's feelings change and why? And what do you think Bear's going to do when coming to the party? Okay, I want you to answer those 3 questions beyond the text. So you can look at the book, but the clues come from in here too, right? The clues in the book, and what you think helps you to find the answer. Just like this boy in the top of my anchor chart, right there, okay? If you can't remember the story, just rewind, just go back and watch the video again, all right?